I'm a cat behaviourist, so I work a lot with cats that refuse to use the litter tray, and the type of litter you put in the tray can be a massive factor. So all cats are different and they like different things, but today I'm going to tell you 3 reasons why I hate non-clumping cat litter. Let's get started. So firstly, these non-clumping litters are designed to be changed as infrequently as possible. So when I was looking on the packets, it said things like long-lasting odor protection or locks in smells, and gives us the idea that your cat can just wee in this tray for as long as they need and it's not going to smell. And on the boxes or packets, it said that the recommended amount of time to change it is once a week. So at least once a week, to be fair. So I guess most people would be scooping out the poos as and when they need to, and then changing the entire litter once a week. So no scooping out wee, just leave that wee to accumulate all week and then dump the tray and refill it with fresh litter every single week. So for us, this works well because there's less waste and that, all the litter that you put in the tray is being used and then that's all being dumped and then there's a fresh tray every week. But for a cat, you can see why this would be a problem because yes, we can't pick up on the smell. Like if you're lucky, you won't be able to pick up on the smell. But for a cat, for at least one day a week, there's a whole tray full of a week's worth of wee there that's been sat there stagnant for a whole week. And it normally sort of sits at the bottom of the tray. So when you do ditch the tray, you have to wash out the bottom, and the cat can definitely pick up on that. Plus, lots of cats like to dig around in their litter as well. So are we really expecting them to dig around in a week's worth of wee? Like this non-clumping litter that's absorbed all the wee, then we're expecting our cats to dig around in there, like before they wee and after they wee. So you might find if your cat doesn't like this litter, you might find that on day one, they have a good old dig around because it's a nice fresh tray and they dig, and they have their wee and they cover it over and that's all good. But watch them as the week goes on because by the end, or probably even a few days in, you'll probably find that they go in the tray, have their wee, and come straight back out again. Like there's none of that digging because they do pick up on the smell and they do pick up on the fact that they're going to have to drag their paws through wee-soaked litter. So it's definitely not okay for them to use a tray that's not been properly cleaned for a whole week. That's a lot of cats will struggle with that, and that's a massive reason why lots of cats will think, I'm not going to go in there. Do you know what I'll go in instead is a pile of washing or some bedding where I can properly rake over all the covers and the clothes and there's no wee there and I don't have to worry. Secondly, is that for those people that don't want to have a week's worth of wee sitting in their litter tray, they will use such a small amount of litter so that by the time the cat's had a couple of wees, then you can ditch the whole tray every day if you need to and then just fill it up again with such a small amount again. So I get this like it is a fresh tray every day and it avoids waste. So they're using all that litter in the tray, that's all being used up before you get to chuck it away. But here, that's not enough litter in the tray. Sometimes I go to people's houses and you can see the bottom of the tray because the amount of litter is not even enough to cover the bottom of the tray. So by the time the cat's had a little dig, even one scrape, they've hit the bottom of the tray and it's not as comfortable and it's not really fit for purpose. We want to make sure the cats can have a really good old dig, they can dig themselves a hole, they can cover it back over again. It's not enough to just have such a small amount there that it's sort of tricking the cat into thinking this is actually a functional litter tray, when in fact it's just a plastic tray with the thinnest amount of litter in there that doesn't really work and it's not really fit for purpose. And finally, it's a ball ache to clean them. So if you have more than one cat or if you have more than one tray, then come Sunday, when it's your job to go and empty all the trays, it's just such a horrible job having to bring them all down, totally empty them, wash out the bottom of the trays because they've had, the weed's not been soaked in, so it's all sitting there on the bottom. So you've got to wash out the trays and then set them all back up again. It is a massive job, and lots of people will or might try and push it a couple of extra days or try to get away with it as long as they can. And people have said that to me, I would try to do it once a week, but it might be a little bit longer. And if the cat's using it, then you can understand why someone might think that way. But for the cat, it's not really ideal. Like lots of cats will have a time where they'll think, actually, that's just too dirty. I'm not going in there again. Particularly if it's a hooded tray with non-clumping litter, because we can't see what's in there and we can't smell that either. So when the cat goes into their little box, then they're hit with the smell and it can cause them to be like, no way, I'm not going in there again. So if you have a cat that's particularly fussy with the cleanliness of the litter tray, then using a clumping litter is much, much easier to maintain. Because every day you can just go along as routine, scoop out the clumps of wee and poo, and then just top up with fresh litter. Like there's no need to empty all the litter out. There's no need to wash the tray out unless they've made a mess or they've missed or something. So it's much, much easier to maintain. And then they are guaranteed a fresh tray every single day. They don't have to wait for a week to come round before they're finally like, yay, my tray's clean. So if you're using a non-clumping litter and your cat has no issues, then please don't feel any pressure to change it. Like, all cats are different and they like what they like. But if you're having the odd toileting issue, or if you're not sure if your cat prefers clumping or non-clumping, then add in an extra tray with clumping litter, like a good deep amount of clumping litter, and see which one they take to the most, because you might find that actually, even though they're using the non-clumping okay, they might prefer to use the clumping. So give them the choice and see what they take to. If you'd like to know more about litter trays, then you can watch this video here. But otherwise, I will catch you next week for another video. Take care. Bye.